is NBC 16 News at 5:30.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for NBC 16 News at 5:30. I'm Alan Matthews. NBC 16 will continue to practice social distancing, and as you notice, you'll see our anchors and meteorologists working different shifts and locations in order to stay safe. We now turn to our top story as coronavirus cases in Oregon are now over 600, including 16 deaths. To break down those numbers from the Oregon Health Authority, the majority cases are still in Washington, Marion, and Multnomah counties, each with 100 or more cases. In our region, Lynn County has 36 cases, including 2 deaths now. Deschutes added 2 cases to bring their total to 25. Here in Lane County, we have 12 cases, including 1 death. Benton County has 9 cases. Douglas County added 3 more cases. That brings their total to 8. And so far, there are no cases in Coos County. OHSU confirms 12 healthcare workers have tested positive for coronavirus. The hospital is waiting on 56 test results to come in. Lachey Wesley from our sister station in Portland tells us why healthcare workers worry that those numbers could grow without enough personal protective equipment.
A call for more PPE, gloves, masks, and gowns necessary to protect healthcare workers from COVID-19. We heard from the people working on the front lines. They tell us they're using 1 mask for a 12-hour shift. Those masks are designed to be used once per patient. We also were told about emergency room staff who are using swim goggles because they don't have the right eye protection equipment. Casey Hart is a respiratory therapist at OHSU. He's concerned for his life.
I'm 35 years old, and for the first time in my life, I've considered whether or not I need to write a will.
The Oregon Office of Emergency Management gave us an update on the state's supply of personal protective equipment. The director estimates the state will need over 100,000 masks, gloves, and gowns, enough equipment to last over several months.
Now, the Office of Emergency Management says the state is shopping for personal protective equipment and competing with other states. The state is also waiting on supplies from FEMA. Coronavirus testing is limited across the nation, but Lane County is getting its fair share of tests. Lane County does not have any testing labs and does not provide tests at this time. With testing so limited, Lane County Public Health spokesperson Jason Davis says tests are only given after evaluation by a provider. Davis says that lack of tests nationwide really comes down to a lack of necessary materials.
What we are trying really hard to do is to be an advocate for our community, to push state and federal officials to make more testing available. One of the greatest impediments to testing right now is the chemicals needed to process the test. So we need a greater supply of these chemicals.
Davis says guidelines for determining who gets tested take several factors into account. High-risk groups and people in high-risk fields may get tested more frequently. And as a reminder, Lane County Public Health does have a non-emergency call center available to answer any questions. That number on the screen, 541-682-1380. The call center is open daily from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Oregon is the 18th state to get more federal help in fighting the coronavirus pandemic as President Trump approved a major disaster declaration for the state.
This approval means that communities and the state can get upwards of 75% of what would have been unreimbursable costs now paid for. So that means for medical supplies, that means for public health information and education, everything from disinfecting public buildings to making sure we have the personal protection equipment our healthcare providers need, now we know can be paid for up to 75% by the federal government at the state and local level.
Now here's a bit more on what the disaster declaration means when it comes to money. Those federal dollars can go to reducing public health, emergency cost, disinfecting public facilities, and medical sheltering. It can also be used to buy supplies, including personal protective equipment. But Governor Kate Brown says that there's still a pending request for disaster aid. Brown says that Oregon needs additional help covering things like child care, crisis counseling, legal services, and unemployment assistance. Governor Brown says she'll continue working with Congress and the White House to keep getting resources to fight the virus and help those affected by it. And you'll probably see some new ads asking people to abide by social distancing and other restrictions. The campaign urges people to stay home or you could accidentally kill someone. It's meant to encourage people to take the coronavirus seriously and stay home.
The goal of the campaign is simple: to unite Oregonians to save lives. It also shines a light on our essential workers and the sacrifices they are making on the front lines of this situation. When you stay home, you help keep them safe, and they work to keep our state going.
This ad will run on TV and the radio. You might also see it on social media.
Kind of a soggy day all across Western Oregon yet again, but this is a sight that we desperately like to see. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of those numbers all across our area as some rain has been able to gather up into the rain gauge. A couple of tenths to close to a half inch out towards the Coos Bay area. Corvallis at about 37 tenths of an inch and about 31 tenths out towards Newport. But radar and satellite over the past several hours still holding tight to those sporadic rain showers, snow going through the Cascades, and that's where the National Weather Service has not only winter weather advisories, but winter storm warnings for far eastern sections of Douglas County. We're talking several feet of snow is possible, but the rain showers continue to fall over our area on this Monday evening. That will hold tight for tonight as temperatures fall back into the 40s. Tomorrow, still rainy showers, but not going to be as widespread or consistent as what we've seen today. But I'll let you know this detailed timeline of how long they stick around in my full forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh. Well, Oregon and New Jersey are the only states that place a ban on pumping your own gas. But for the next few weeks, that's all changing temporarily in response to social distancing guidelines. NBC 16's Angelina Dixon reports.
If you're heading to the gas station, newsflash, things may have changed. According to a state decision, you may have to pump your own gas for the next few weeks. That's if the gas station grants you the option of pumping your own gas. And if they do, you'll see a note like this one, or an attendant will let you know what to do. This is an effort to comply with social distancing guidelines and preventing the spread of the coronavirus for everyone.
We basically repurposed gas attendants, so they're now cleaning equipment so that the gas attendant can maintain that social distance. When you're pumping someone's gas, it's virtually impossible to maintain the required 6 feet of distance between someone when you're required to have hand-to-hand, face-to-face contact with them.
This authorization went into effect on Saturday. Since then, it's received some criticism, but Romaine says touching the gas pump is no different than touching a shopping cart or an ATM. She encourages people to wear gloves if they feel the need and to wash their hands often. She says a few stations have closed in Eugene in response to the coronavirus. If those closed stations allow self-service, Romaine says the public is authorized to fill their own tank.
And hopefully it's even cleaner because gas stations are now out there basically sanitizing the pump. But I think you need to take your own precautions just like you do when you're going out to fulfill your other basic necessities, which is wear gloves, bring your own hand sanitizer, whatever you're doing to keep you and your family safe.
Some gas stations that allow self-service have offered safety signs for how to safely operate a fuel pump. In Eugene, I'm Angelina Dixon reporting.
The temporary authorization of self-service at the pump is set to last until April 11th. Governor Kate Brown's stay-at-home order states that grocery, healthcare, medical, or pharmacy service will not be shut down, but specific businesses are listed as prohibited from operating by the order. Examples include hair salons, tattoo parlors, movie theaters, and nearly every type of retail store. But there are some services not listed as essential, but are not forced to close as long as they can comply with social distancing. Some examples including auto and bike repair shops. So while we practice social distancing, you can still ensure that your mode of transportation is secure.
We're actually keeping quite a few people who aren't using public transportation or can't anymore, keeping their bikes running so they can still get to their essential service jobs.
Land Speed's fixed bike shop staff say that they've increased sanitation efforts and now only allow one customer in the shop at a time. The stay-at-home order states that any business other than ones listed as essential can be shut down if they are found to not be following social distancing. Schools around the state are gearing up for e-learning. On the South Coast, some schools are taking lessons from their own books. NBC 16's Laura Negretti has that story.
The Coquille School District is ready to hit the books on e-learning via Google Suites.
So all of these things for distance learning, we've been working on for the last 2 years.
Coquille schools have been using Google Classroom and video chats on Google Meets. Now they're making a bigger push and delivering more than 450 Chromebooks to families who need them. The district is making hotspots available in school buses and 3 different school parking lots.
So if the family doesn't have Wi-Fi at home, they can go and park their car next to a bus and still access their students' education.
A first grade teacher at Lincoln Early Learning Center, Rachel Halley, says it's important teachers and parents work together.
Phonics and sight words and adding and subtracting. We're sending home worksheets that parents can help their kids with at home. Writing we'll be doing on Google Classroom, so students will be able to write to us and work on sentences, and the teachers will be able to write back to them.
Packets are delivered to students during lunch deliveries at schools, homes, and community hotspots.
We tend to have a high absentee rate, even when school's in session.
Sweeney says he is hopeful this will create new opportunities to address those needs.
We're having the conversations at this time. How do we assess where our students are at when we return to school?
He says social promotion in grade levels is likely, but there's no word from the state as yet on high school graduation. The supplemental education program will be rolled out throughout the week. Reporting in Coos County, I'm Lauren Negretti.
On the homepage of our website at NBC16.com, you can find resources on free meals for students as school closures continue until the end of April. Just click the tab for more information. Well, coming up on your only local news at 5:30, the City of Powers finally has a new police chief. What goals he has to improve the city.